The aggregate device isn't recognising it. Is that mine or yours?
It was yours over there.
Might be part of the problem. Just trying to pick up the mic from my phone. What? Is this blue?
This is the Welcome to the Sky podcast, your place for stories, news, opinions and conversations about the best thing in the world, flying. I'm LewDix, your host and friend as we talk about everything from flight training to the airlines and much, much more. I have a lot to say, so sit back, relax and let's get this thing off the ground in the Welcome to the Sky podcast. Not the headphone, get my phone.
This is going to go well.
Oh, it's going to be terrible. I can't. We're only going
Oh.
to hear ourselves, but...
How am I going to hear you then?
Oh, it's not fucking noise cancelling, it's just PS5 headset.
Oh, so these aren't the Bose A30s?
Might as well be. Jesus.
Well, that's kind of strange, that, but I do like the sound of it.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's nice.
especially when you get up close. It's just that sound in the...
Get in there with a bit of ASMR.
See, I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
you can. They can, that's all that matters.
They're gone now.
In this episode of the Welcome to the Sky podcast, I have a guest with me, the one and only Otto. He's my best friend. He's a pilot.
That's the first time you've said that.
Can I finish the intro before we get into some sort of conversation? Is that okay? He was my best friend, and he's a pilot. He's been flying with me for years, and we have some things to say about content creation in aviation, because it's a question that comes up quite a lot on my YouTube channel. And yeah, he's got his own YouTube channel, which we'll get into.
It's sort of loose.
Yeah, yeah. His release schedule is a little bit rocky, but that's what we're going to talk about today. Anyway, welcome to the podcast, Otto.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Shall I say it with more conviction?
Yeah, I know. It's good to be here. But it just sounds nice. That's the only reason.
It does sound nice, but
it's the only reason I do a podcast, listen to myself speak.
unless you start making me sound like freaking Daffy Duck.
Which actually, don't spit on the mic. Anyway, let's explain to the people our relationship. Let's go through our relationship history. We've been flying together for a long time. I started my YouTube channel back in 2015, and I started doing my instrument rating. When did you start yours?
Oof.
There's been multiple iterations of this YouTube
there has
channel.
been multiple iterations of OttoPilot Aviation. If you want to go way back, it started as XX Manned 123 XX.
Really?
So I started off making flight simulator videos because I was lonely and at home. So I was,
Sat in Bristol.
yeah, well, no, Cumbrain.
Oh, sorry, Wales.
Yeah. Did you ever do any like screen recording or any flight simulator?
I didn't. I'm not even technologically advanced now, but I did some simulating, but I just never recorded it.
You never recorded it. So
Yeah.
back at the time, there was this one application. It may still be the same application, but the one thing, unless you got like a monitor recorder, like something to actually record the monitor separately from your device, you had to have this application, and it was called Fraps. You couldn't get it to record at any decent, well, ironically, frames per second.
Right.
Everything, as soon as you would turn it on, everything would just...
That's a technical term.
Yeah, so you'd be playing, simulating, and then you try and make a video from it, and as soon as you press record, everything would go from like nice and smooth to just like frame by frame. May as well just brought out a camera.
Yeah, I know. Oh, he's landed. Hold on, 3 frames back.
In this episode from 1950.
Mum comes in, dinner's ready. Off, Mum. So it started as a simulator thing, and then what was the next iteration?
It started into then recording our flights when we went from Orlando to Gatwick or Gatwick to Orlando.
The nice wing view.
Yeah, Virgin Atlantic first class.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, only time we done that though. Broke us.
It doesn't settle for anything less.
We only done it one way. We only done one way. We couldn't afford it going back.
Oh, how'd they get in here?
And then I deleted all those videos swiftly, and it turned into flight creations with really poor videos of like old GoPros and 32 gig SD cards.
Back when that was actually okay.
That actually got you about 2.5 hours worth of recording.
Not anymore.
No, and actually GoPros used to last about 2 hours then.
Yep. Yeah, no, but right. So I was doing my instrument training, and then I got my instrument, and I think it was it after I got my instrument that we got into contact with each other?
No.
It was before my
Yes.
because I needed HUD time and you were my safety pilot.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I've annoyed him now. I've not remembered the timeline. He's actually better at remembering my timelines than me. So
July 19th.
July 19th.
Yeah, July 19th, day before my
Day
birthday.
See, I know his
Aw.
birthday. Yeah. Yeah. This
Never
is your
got me
present,
anything.
by the way.
Eh?
So anyway, I think you got into contact with me because you loved what you saw on my YouTube
No,
channel.
actually, you got into contact with me.
I got into contact
Through
with you
YouTube.
because I loved what I was seeing on your channel, and we set up a date to go and fly.
Yes.
And would you care to explain to the people what happened the first
I think
time?
there was just a miscommunication.
I don't
There's
think it was a
really,
miscommunication
I think it
at
was
all.
just a miscommunication between,
Nah.
the YouTube and the Messenger because,
want
I
Messenger.
didn't want to invest in a US phone or phone number.
Doesn't matter. Still got the message.
So, so there was just a miscommunication. We were discussing about flying on a Thursday, and in the evening, and you turned up on a Thursday. I turned up on a Thursday. We just happened to turn up on different Thursdays.
The lack of responsibility taking that I'm witnessing is incredible. I got to the airport, was doing the pre-flight, and I gave him I shoot him a text, actually. I believe I remember it was a text. And then I swiftly got a phone call with a lot of apologies that he wasn't going to make the flight. So that was our first attempt at meeting up. You're lucky that we actually got together after that.
Yeah, because to be honest, you don't give many people second chances. This was a lot about him as a CFI.
The whole flight, the whole first flight when we actually did make it, I was...
The only reason is because I was about the only British person you knew.
Absolutely, honestly. No, I did know others, but the relationships were going a little bit downhill, so I needed them to be replaced. But I'll tell you what, I replaced them with one of the best.
Aw.
So just don't stand me up ever again. And he's never done it since, to be honest. In all honesty, I've got to give him credit for... What did you say?
Would you care to explain that story about 3.5 years later?
My podcast, my rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. And then we got together regularly after that point. He was my safety pilot a lot of the time.
I had just passed my check ride about
Yes.
4 weeks prior to
Right.
this first meeting.
It was fresh off.
Yeah.
And
And I was proper nervous about going up with another pilot.
right. No, you are. That's
Hence why I probably missed the first one.
Yeah, no, that's how it is though when you're flying with somebody new. Like even you're a student, you get with a new instructor. Like it's always I spoke about it on the first episode of the podcast. Like you get proper apprehensive and you go back into your shell. So I completely get it because you do feel like you're being judged, which you are, to be honest.
You are, yeah,
really
absolutely you are. If you don't go flying with someone for the first time and you aren't apprehensive about them, I think that's probably says you're a bit too trustworthy. Possibly. I don't know, that might be controversial.
No, not
This
at all.
might be the
Get
point at
yourself
which...
cancelled. So yeah, we got together. We were doing a lot of flying. He was my safety pilot. He was actually doing a little bit of training as well with his flight instructor. I believe you were doing some right seat training.
I was.
I remember one of those videos on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, there's a part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Is it still... Yeah, it would still be there. I didn't delete the other channel.
Yeah, no, it is. It still pops up on my recommended.
Does it?
Yeah.
See, the one that still pops up for me, which is weird, but I guess they're two separate accounts. But anyway, the one that pops up for me is the recording, how to record a flight.
How to record. Oh my God, I remember that day. It was a terrible, dreary day.
Terrible jury day, but luckily we weren't going anywhere.
No, we weren't. No, didn't need to. Owner was pissed off, but that's all right. Maybe. Yeah, we were doing it once a week. We were taking cross-country flights together. I would take one leg, he would take the other.
Where was the first place we went?
We went to Ocala.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Yeah.
It was your first IFR flight.
First IFR pickup, and I think I remember saying something to you like, "Oh, okay, just don't laugh at me."
Let's go ground for the clearance. Don't laugh. No, I'm not laughing. Don't worry.
Yeah, pick up my first clearance. Don't laugh. Blah blah blah. My God, my hair was like down over my forehead.
Yeah,
Yours
my hair was somewhere up there. It was there.
It was there, but it was hanging on. It was hanging on. It's migrated to your chin.
Gravity.
But yeah, we're doing cross-country flights like once a week and recording them and just having fun flying. That was probably the best time that I've had in aviation. In all honesty, like training, I had a bit of a time. for the most part. And then it got to that where it was just like a sense of freedom, flying around with you, making videos, just having a laugh.
And finding new places to go to, really,
Absolutely.
and fly into. And we were very economical, I think is what I'll say.
Good
in, in finding
Always
locations to fly to. Yeah, we would always call ahead. One, just so the FBO could plan for us, out of respect. And then also to find out how much they were going to charge us.
Absolutely. You got a crew car? Is it free?
There were always a couple of questions because we were younger.
Yeah.
And you were the only one old enough to drive a crew car for the most part. And we would always ask a couple of questions of, how much is parking? How much is a crew car, if you have one? Is it free? Oh, it is. How long can we take it for if it's free? And then the other one was obviously, how old you have to be. Yeah. And half the time, more than half the time, it was always 25, which, knocked me out. But they were truly, genuinely some of the best flying experiences that I've had is just going off and like exploring new places. Finding new airports.
We were both making videos like once a week. I know I do once a week now, but that's
once a century, once a decade. Actually,
once every 17th Christmas is upload schedule these days, unfortunately. But why did you stop making videos?
It's quite a short explanation.
That's perfectly fine because
we're already at 45 minutes.
Intro. Didn't want to. Next.
No, it was just time. Frankly, effort. You work on. I mean, it's not an excuse for me not to do it, but you work on your own schedule. For the most part, other than Silver, I work on other people's schedule right now. Love to get back into it. I don't know if I will.
No, it's definitely it's a time-consuming thing.
It is,
and you don't want to half-arse it if you're trying to make any name for yourself. You've got to make quality videos that people get interested in. And even now, actually, like I'm happy with the stuff that I put out, and I'll be watching it, editing it, watching it time and time again, and thinking, okay, people are going to enjoy this. And sometimes it doesn't catch, it doesn't catch the algorithm, or people don't watch, or as many people watch it as I would like, and it gets disappointing, honestly. And that's not a slight to anybody that doesn't watch the content, but it's on the creator to make content that is interesting for the viewer, and if it's not, they're not going to watch it.
Well, you always have to adapt.
You do.
You always have to find the new little thing that's going to catch people.
Absolutely. The majority of my content over since 2016 has been students.
Right.
And now that I don't have any students at the moment, I like you say, I got to be creative in what I do in the flights and what we go up and do. Like on the flight back from we just did the invasion up to Ocala we took 8 aircraft, not both of us. we were just in one. Yeah. No. Hold it steady.
That looks bad off.
yeah, hold on. But we invaded an airport, and on the way there it was great. That was when all the action was happening. On the way back, you flew, and I've skimmed through the footage, and I'm just thinking to myself, how are people going to catch on to this video? What's going to draw them into this video? We did a couple of maneuvers in it, but I'm thinking, is that going to be good for viewers to see? You've got to be creative in this day and age, and especially with attention spans the way that they are, you've got to do something that holds attention spans, which is why
a lot of these videos that are coming out are somewhat interactive, or they have other random people interacting in the videos to try and make other people want to engage with it. If it's just one person or two people in there, it makes it seem like it's somewhat scripted, even though anything that we do is seldom scripted.
Absolutely. We've got no script for this podcast. We've got 2 loose things to talk about.
And we haven't hit one of them.
We've not hit one of them yet.
This is proving my point.
You were just proving it. That's all you were doing. You get people do collaborations with people. I was watching a video the other day, nothing to do with aviation, but it was a football guy. And at the end of the video, he had Ryan Reynolds in the video, but he left it to the end to show Ryan Reynolds. So people have got to watch the whole video to get to it.
See, I've always kind of somewhat
sneaky.
It's sneaky, and I've always kind of thought I don't. All right, well, I guess this may be a personal opinion, but I don't enjoy doing that. So if I see there's like a thumbnail and it has a picture of somebody and I'm going there strictly for that thumbnail, If they start it out and in the first 2 minutes they do not address that thumbnail, I skip to the end or I skip to where it is.
Come on. Get to the crash. Well, I mean, it's a nice segue, mate, because what we're talking about today is content creation.
Everything.
Is everything. Yeah, no. Squirrel. Talking about aviation content creation. I have a lot of questions from people asking, first of all, how to record aviation videos.
I know where you can find a video about that.
No,
it might be outdated, but the concepts are still the same.
Yeah. Making aviation videos, it's not as easy as it looks or as people make it.
Ooh.
I feel like there's a lot more that goes into it than just setting up some cameras and just doing the flight. And being that we've both been content creators in aviation at some point, I'm still doing it. He's ish. Yeah, it's not just as simple as just setting something up and going. There's many different things that you've got to think about. And I mean, pick me up on anything that you think I'm wrong at, or if you've got anything to add. But regulations.
Wrong.
Oh, there's always somebody watching.
You have, quite frankly, keyboard warriors who want to, slam the far aim in your face. You have to be really careful about how and what you post.
Absolutely. Not just keyboard warriors, the authorities as well. They're all watching.
Yeah.
And like there's been instances where aviation YouTubers have been pulled up by somebody like a keyboard warrior sending stuff to the fizz door.
Oh yeah, getting reported. That happens a lot too.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's so true because people like to see the downfall of people, to be honest, and they'll do that to you. But yeah, the authorities are going to be watching, so you've got to be really careful with what you're putting in. You've got to make sure you're following regulations. You've got to also make sure that you're flying well as well, because you're opening yourself up to criticism from the internet. The internet's a crazy place.
Mm-hmm.
And as pilots, let's be honest, we all think we're the best pilot in the world.
Every pilot thinks they're the best pilot.
Every single one. And I know I am, but...
Macho attitude.
Yeah, that's what you need. I wanted to say something on the type of content that is being made, or at least is being made, because before I started making YouTube videos, I would watch all sorts of different aviation YouTubers and
prepare yourself for a rant.
Well, I'm touching this, so I'm thinking about my words very carefully here.
I can tell.
But yeah, I used to watch all sorts of different aviation YouTubers, some that I really liked, some that I really didn't. And the main reason that I kind of fell out of love with watching aviation videos is because of the type of content that a lot of people were starting to make. Some of the people that I was watching were putting stuff out there that I just thought wasn't genuine. And I feel like we, as creators, have a responsibility to put genuine content out there. Like, the things that I was seeing was, time after time, video after video, these people were posting things that were going wrong on every single flight that they were doing. Like, it seemed like every single flight and every single flight video, something that in the title or the thumbnail would allude to something.
An issue.
Yeah, something happening.
Yep.
I've been flying since 2008, on and off, but whatever. I've had maybe 3 things happen in that time that would be cause for alarm.
Yeah.
You know, it's not one thing after another after another. No.
That was the first one.
That was the first one. Yeah. Show the RPM gauge like 6 times on the video. Look at it flicker. Yeah, it's just I just started to see a lot of that, and it
Clickbait.
Clickbait, absolutely.
Frankly, clickbait.
Absolutely. They're just trying to get the clicks on there because they know people will go onto it. Now, that's not to say if you actually are in a genuine situation, by all means, if you feel comfortable, post the video. But if you're posting videos consistently, having failures that aren't actually happening, I just find it so disingenuous.
I wonder which one you're referring to on that failure.
They've exhausted all of their options to try and get views, and they're resorting to things like that to try and get views, which the views should be there. It shouldn't be. That's the thing. I hate that it's like a rat race to I've got to get this video out because it's going to get this many views. No. We should be creating videos that we think is entertaining and people, would want to watch. If they watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. But it just seems like some value their content more than or making videos more than actually aviation and flying.
Yeah,
which that's why we make the videos in the first place. That's why we all started flying, because we love aviation.
Yep.
You know, that's what we want to do, and that's what we should be trying to share, which is a really positive thing. And I feel like we're going into quite a negative space here, but I think it needs to be talked about, because I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the big emergency that was faked a little while ago, where the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, Trevor something, he went flying with a parachute strapped to his back.
As you do.
And he faked that he was having engine trouble, and he decided to show himself parachuting out of his aircraft, and the aircraft crashed into the mountain. And thankfully, the authorities saw it and have taken action on his certificate. That is, firstly, an instance of showing that the authorities are watching.
Yeah.
The comments on that video were all, "You're an idiot.
Yep.
What are you doing? This is completely wrong." I rarely comment on other people's videos, but I had to comment on that video because as a flight instructor that is trying to teach people about how to be safe in aviation.
And how to be safe, specifically in genuine emergencies.
Absolutely. That is setting the world's worst example of what to do. And this is another big point. A brand new student pilot is like a baby. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. So the stuff that they are seeing on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever, they are soaking it all in, and they might see something like that and think that that's a normal thing to do. Now, that might be taking it to an extreme. However, they might look at it and think,
this is okay.
Just stuff like that has no place in the community. And that is one instance where I'm thankful for, you know, the community of people that got onto that video and brought, you know, a lot of awareness.
Well, I think everyone saw through it because majority of pilots realize that you don't respond to an engine failure in the way that was responded to.
Right. That's just an insane thing to put out there, and it's just so disingenuous, and it's all for the views, which goes back to the clickbait thing and posting genuine content, or in this case, not genuine content, you know, all to gain some views. That is one case of somebody taking it to an absolute extreme, and it's a shame that I don't know if culture is the right word to say, but the culture of clickbait and trying to gain views in aviation, it doesn't fit with aviation. It doesn't mesh with aviation whatsoever. We have a responsibility to create genuine content, and I feel as though things have shifted, especially in the modern age, with now even the short form videos on TikTok and stuff of people doing stuff that are stupid. Like I saw a video on TikTok of a guy doing some instrument work, and instead of using foggles, he had the sectional chart pinned up against the window.
Oh, yeah, there's been multiple instances of that in older YouTube videos. And I don't understand the concept of that, because the safety pilot is meant to be being a safety pilot and looking out for traffic.
Nah, let's blind him. But my question is, why are you thinking that that's okay to post?
I think, honestly, because it's happened before in previous videos, and no action has seemed to come from it.
You just proved my point.
So
we're good at this, mate. The precedent has been set, so people think it's okay. And people, you know, another side of it is people don't realise that authorities are watching this, other people are watching this, and all in the comments he was being told about it like this, and even in the comments as well, he was defending himself. That's where the problem comes in, because you don't know what you've done wrong. Like, you think it's okay for whatever reason. Like, you might have seen another video where in the past and seen that that's okay, when it's absolutely not. So again, we have a responsibility to make genuine things that are going to help the community rather than hinder.
We have postponed when I was getting my instrument rating, we have postponed a flight before. Pretty sure it was us. It was
better have been us. No, who've you been flying with?
We'd postponed a flight because I didn't bring my foggles. And we'd try to go off to the shop at the airport, and they didn't have any foggles. And I think we just gave up for the day, and probably very much could have gone off and done
something else.
No, but bringing this round full circle.
Yeah.
This goes back to the fact that it takes so long to record and edit, specifically edit videos. You don't only have to watch the entire flight and go through it and scrub through it and find everything.
It's painstaking.
It is. I mean, usually at least an hour in just setting up. You have to go through and make sure that nothing can be misconstrued. Context is huge.
Yeah.
Context is massive.
Absolutely.
And when you're editing something, as soon as you take away the context of a checklist being done, someone immediately gets on you if you didn't do a checklist.
Absolutely.
You cut out a radio call, someone says, "Where was your radio call?"
Yep.
As soon as you cut out the clear to land, like clearance, someone asks, "Were you not clear to land?" You have to be so careful in how you edit, and you'll find, honestly, at least for me, when I have cameras, it's almost like a self-checking mechanism.
It is.
In the sense of that you sit there and you go, "Oh, did I do this right?"
It's a good tool, like you say, for checks and balances against yourself. It is. I think it's a great proficiency tool.
Yep.
When it's done in the right way. I've gone through many different videos and caught certain things that I think, you know what, I don't like the way that landing looked. I don't like the way that I did this, or the procedure, or my flow here wasn't too good.
Yeah, that's a big one for me. Is the flow.
Yeah.
When I review it, record, review, refine.
That was his old.
That was flight creations. I do remember that video where we were going to fly, and I think to Ocala, and you gave me a little tune. Flight creations, flight creations.
Flight creation, flight creation. Creating memories, one flight at a time.
Creating memories, one flight at a time. That was great. I put a little rock tune over it. It was fantastic.
Quality.
But
genuine content.
yeah.
Genuine aviation content.
Yeah, because everyone can relate to that.
Everyone, exactly.
No, man.
Just don't do it on final.
Stare our cockpit.
Yeah.
So much of our flights are cut as well because we're actually, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, honestly, we're being boring because we're going through the regular procedures of what happens during flight. And you don't have fun during those periods.
No, not at all.
If I'm watching that particular video, I don't want to be watching every single process that goes on behind the scenes.
Imagine every single video being over an hour long because you've seen every little thing that you
no one would be watching aviation videos, and that's a big reason why aviation videos have progressed in a way that I don't necessarily care for, but a lot of them have, and you, for the most part, have kept your structure pretty similar. You just got rid of the handy cam.
Oh my god. Don't even.
Is he in frame?
He is now.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken a lot about the negatives about, content creation. We've spoken about some positives. You do get a lot of positives out of it. If it's done correctly, you can gain a lot from it as a student pilot or as a pilot in general to see how other people do things. That's a great thing. I've taken a lot of things from certain YouTube channels and incorporated it into my own instruction.
I think the most clickbaity you've got, and I've done the same thing, and
I've got to hear this.
Well, and the issue is because frankly you can't really get away from it, but I mean, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, you also know it's kind of clickbaity, but it's not a lie. It's by no means a lie, actually. It's probably the furthest thing from, but it just happens to be a word that is associated with almost somewhat of a clickbait, and that's the word, like, going flying with a girlfriend.
Right. We did it.
You've done it. I've done it.
Absolutely.
And I done the one about teaching.
And yeah. That still pops up as well. The video.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our discussion on content creation in aviation. There is a way to do it and do it right. I believe in making genuine aviation content. I love making aviation fun for people, as does Otto. But yeah, I'd like to thank Otto for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed,
my camera died.
Yeah, his camera's gone, so we can't see him anymore.
Shall I?
Yeah, come on over. I'd like to thank Otto for joining us today. If you enjoyed the episode with Otto, let us know. Let me know. It's my channel. And maybe we can have you back again. I've enjoyed the discussion, honestly. I
thought I was coming back anyway.
Remains to be seen. No, it was a nice discussion on aviation content creation. Do it right. Do it right. If you're going to do it, make genuine content. Let's make our aviation community better, shall we? There's always room for improvement. What's controversial about that? Bang. End. 3 episodes in. Done. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you for listening there. If you have a Spotify account, get over on Spotify, follow the Welcome to the Sky podcast. If you've been watching on YouTube, appreciate you watching. Like the video,
You
subscribe.
planning to move to Apple my podcast?
I asked that question in the previous one, and I've not got the responses back yet. Just a bit of post-editing here. I have actually put the Welcome to the Sky podcast on Apple Podcasts. So if you prefer listening to it there, it's available. We were supposed to do a Q&A in this, but it's gone on way too long.
It's gone on very long, yeah.
We'll do a Q&A next time. Get out.
I love that.
We did it, mate. Editing it's going to be a bastard.